Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. We just took the sheep out of this strip of summer grazing pasture. This is July, the middle of July. And you can tell it was time for them to move because the weeds have had all their leaves removed. This one here is ironweed. I'm going to break that off so you can see how many leaves are on it. Look at that. Two leaves survived on the very end of that plant. Folks, this is a plant that cattle won't eat. I mean, they'll eat it. Cattle eat it if you put them in there real tight and force them to eat it, but then they're going to lose condition, probably lose weight while you're making them do that, where sheep will put on weight. They really do. They go after it. There's a wild soybean plant in here, and they stripped that. Look at the fescue that they trampled on the ground. I mean, this, I'll show you what it looked like before they went in and after. There's a piece over here that the boys are just taking up the wire. But I guess one of the things that surprises me is for little animals, how much they can trample. What do y'all think about all this trampling you're seeing here?
I'd say it's like 50% trampled.
Yeah.
To grazed. I mean, it's grazed.
Yep.
A lot of it's trampled. I was thinking about it. You know, they're eating most of the broadleaf stuff and the noxious weeds or whatever.
Yep.
And the grasses they're just trampling. So those grasses are probably going to come back, you know, a lot better than the weeds are.
Yep. They're putting pressure on the weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. The weeds, normally in a grazing rotation with cattle, especially cattle, the weeds get a free ride.
Right.
And the grass gets, it's the other way around. So I've heard it said that if you want good pasture for your cows, run sheep. It's kind of true.
Like right there, some ironweed.
Yeah.
I mean, they stripped it clean.
Yeah. I just pulled off a couple a while ago and had them in front of the camera, and there's not hardly any ironweed in here that survived. You just see the stalks.
Or Queen Anne's lace.
Queen Anne's lace.
As far as up as they can reach.
Yep, they like it. So a lot of the plants that normally we would classify as weeds, because nothing will eat them, when you run sheep, it kind of turns that whole thing around on its head. So I'm going to, if y'all want to bring the foiler and bring it on around by the truck, I'm just going to walk out. Okay. So I want to show what the paddock looked like.
Okay. Yep.
That's what they're going to be going into. Yeah. It's unbelievable, folks. A lot of this trampling you see right here, I mean, look at that. It's trampled. It's just a thick layer and nice little raisins in there. See those raisins? Now you don't want to eat that raisin. That's a sheep turd. But they've trampled it and then they left raisins behind. Little pellets of fertilizer, which is a whole lot friendlier fertilizer than what you can buy at the store. Let me promise you that. And they've worked on that. This is a persimmon sprout. My goodness, they stripped that one. I like it. Persimmon sprouts are taken over if they can. But, you know, you put something on it. Look at all these stalks in here. Just everywhere you look. I mean, they got that whole weed all the way to the top. There's not a leaf left on it. You see, we won't be back here for about 45 to 50 days. And this will all get cleaned off. We got 3 1/4 inches of rain last night. And so all this stuff that got trampled is getting cleaned off now. There's going to be a ton of clover and some of the younger weeds coming up through that. And there's another lineage of grazing in front of us. This is why you want to move sheep right here. See that? That is a persimmon grove. And those sheep camp out on that at night. So they were on this strip for 2 days. Now they cannot come back here. But if you let sheep stay on an area, a pasture for very long, and they don't get moved off of it, they're picking up parasites through that. So they're hanging out here at night, and people wonder why you got to worm your sheep. Well, our sheep have pressure put on them. Every sheep harbors some worms. I think that's good. They need a few worms. We've got worms in us. That's what builds up resistance. My gosh, look at this, folks. Can you all believe that? That one little wire is holding sheep and the guard dogs. That's poly braid. It's not poly wire, it's poly braid. It goes all the way down to that pond. And those sheep did not go through that. So you look at it over here, this is what it looks like when we took them out. Look what they're going into. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, look at this. That's honey locust. It's a little honey locust tree right there. He's in deep, deep trouble. Those sheep are going to clean him up. There won't be anything left of him. That's like giving him a banana split with a big cherry on top and whipped cream. I better stop right there. I'm kind of getting hungry for a banana split now. But look at the food in here for sheep. Queen Anne's lace. Here's my virgin ironweed. Look at that plant. Woo! That's going to grow us some lamb right there. Look at that. Cattle wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't touch it. There's our wild soybean plant. Stick tight. Some people call it beggar's lice. That's going to have a little bean pod appearing on it here pretty shortly. God, I can hardly walk in here. I got to get back up here in this four-wheeler path. My goodness. So sheep can build soil. People say they're too small to build soil with. You can't get any trampling. That's all bull malarkey. Absolutely is not the truth. We just moved the sheep across on that post right there. They're on the other side of that draw now. They have the pond for water. And the paddock I'm walking through, we're going to be bringing about 350, whatever it is, head of South Pole cattle across the bottom of this paddock, and we don't want the sheep in the way. So the boys are just so awesome. They calculated out how to do that by looking at their calendar and saying, okay, the cows are going to be here on Tuesday. We need the sheep up here on Monday night so they're not in the way. That's what they do. And they're dang good at it. They just have a knack. Some people have a knack for things. They've got that knack. And I'm going to open this gate. And I think I need to stop right there because I can't get it shut running this camera. But you can tell which side the sheep are on. And of course, this is the lawn of the landowner. The guy mows this for her. She doesn't live out here, but it's just a beautiful place. Oh, look at this. Wow. Now those will be ripe. Those are tame grapes. Man, look at that. When they're ripe, they turn purple. I'm not going to pick that one. That one's turning right there. There's grapes. That's an old grape arbor, and the autumn olive just came in and took it over. And if you can believe it or not, in 2015, I cut that tree down. And I didn't paint the stump. I didn't have any brush color with me. Look what it did. It took over. It needs to be cut again because it's going to kill out that grape. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Everyone have a good one. And don't forget, hit that subscribe button on the way out. And for those of you all that are susceptible to poison ivy, look at this. Big old poison ivy plant. If that poison ivy plant was on that side of the fence, where the sheep could get a hold of it, they'd kill it. They love poison ivy. So if you got poison ivy on your farm, you're afraid to walk out there, get you some sheep. They'll take care of it. They'll absolutely graze it off of your farm. This farm was so bad in poison ivy when we leased it that Jan couldn't hardly come over here. And now she can walk about anywhere she wants. And she doesn't have to worry about getting poison ivy. So they really go after that stuff, and they put on weight, and they'll grow you a lamb by eating poison ivy. Anyway, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time.